13 WMAZ News at 6 starts now.
Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Lori Johnson, and as we join you this evening, we have been tracking snow all day across central Georgia. From Sparta and Edenton to Milledgeville and Macon, we've seen snow spreading across central Georgia throughout the afternoon and evening. We're continuing our coverage of the winter weather this evening. So, to get us started, Chief Meteorologist Ben Jones, you've been tracking the weather all day, Ben, and we're not quite out of the woods yet.
No, not quite. We still have some snow to go in some of our eastern half, which is of course where we thought all this was going to be, was mainly in our eastern counties. The question was going to be, is there a westernmost extent that may throw some snow into an area that maybe the models weren't picking up on? Some were, and that is downtown Macon and in East Macon. It made it that far out toward the east. You can see it a little bit on the ground down here as we look towards 2nd Street here. So, and it's on the ground. Anything that is on the ground in any of our areas is going to stay put now because it is definitely cold enough out there for it. The current number in Macon, 25. As we look at tonight, we're going to drop down and we're going to say as low as 15 tomorrow morning. Sun comes out tomorrow. We go above freezing by about noon. And then about 7 o'clock tomorrow night, we go back to really cold stuff again. So there's about a 7-hour window tomorrow to lose some of the anything that's out there. 20s everywhere. Let's see, 22s. We have some 27s. No shortage of cold stuff. No shortage of wind. The yellow number, the occasional wind gusts, and we're seeing anywhere from 25 to 30 mile per hour gusts. So this is what it feels like out there. We talked about single digits being on the wind chill map, and it is, and will continue to be as we go on through tonight. A couple of little radar shots to show you. This shows in the blue shaded area where the more concentrated snow is, and notice we've lost a lot of that. Last little bits down into Lawrence County, trying to hold together for parts of Telfair Wheeler, eastern parts of Dodge County. This kind of takes into account all of the flurries as well, so it shows a little bit more, but you do start to see some of this kind of, it is rolling south, but shrinking down a little bit. So, but where you see some color, you still have a few flurries. It may not be super steady, but where we get into the white shaded area, it is at least somewhat steady. Again, you're not, put the skis back in the closet. It's not one of those things, but enough that it looks pretty out there, and we'll have it and tomorrow morning. It'll still be out there because it is definitely cold enough. Problem with some of this, been hitting roadways that are warmer than everything else, and it's been melting. Will that stuff refreeze? Let's dig in more on all that and take a look at tomorrow and everything. We'll do that coming up in a little bit. Lori, I think we're going back to you.
Yes, we are. Thanks so much, Ben. And you can track temperatures and weather right now on the 24/7 radar. Scan the QR code on your screen now. This is what 13 WMAZ is here for. Staying with you on air and streaming with the updates you need in real time. Download 13 WMAZ Plus to watch on your TV, and you can watch for free. Well, we are seeing snow across Macon right now. Maggie Fitzgerald is in the 13 WMAZ Storm Lab. And hi there, Maggie. You've been driving around, kind of checking out the conditions. What are you noticing now?
Absolutely, Lori. We've been driving around. Again, we're still in Macon here, where we were previously checked in with you here on Gray Highway. But we're still here on Gray Highway headed towards downtown Macon. We're keeping our eyes on these conditions right now. It's pretty clear here for the most part. A little bit of traffic picking up, a little bit more than we saw last time we checked in with you, but let's take a look at the roads here. We're at this intersection here, again, approaching downtown Macon off of Gray Highway. The flurries stopped since we last checked in with you and Ben, Lori. We were seeing some of the flurries that we were also seeing back in the city of Edenton, of course, in our northeastern areas of central Georgia, where they're expected to be hit with more of the heavier conditions later on this evening into the early hours. But like I said, we're pretty clear on our front moving into the downtown area. You can see some of the snow sticking to portions of the side roads. Other than that, we're going to keep our eyes on the road areas and see if any of those flurries show up later into this evening. But for now, we're live in the Storm Lab. Maggie Fitzgerald, 13, WMAZ News. Back to you, Lori.
Thanks a lot, Maggie. Stay safe out there. And right now, as the winter weather is moving across central Georgia, the Georgia Department of Transportation, they have their crews out responding as conditions change. GDOT says snow and ice are creating slick spots on some roads with visibility dropping and road temperatures falling. Crews are actively plowing interstates and state routes across north and northeastern parts of the state. GDOT says stronger winds are reducing visibility and making road conditions across the state more dangerous. Right now, officials are urging you to stay off the roads as bridges and overpasses can ice over quickly. Here in central Georgia, we've been in contact with local officials who are keeping an eye on the roads. In Washington County, Sheriff Joel Cochran says they are getting more snow and reports of icing. So far, they've gotten reports of icing between Sandersville and Baldwin County on the Fall Line Freeway. And they've also heard the roads are getting kind of icy on Highway 15 North, Highway 24 East, Tinal-Oconee Road, and Georgia Highway 242. Let's take a look at the snow in Sparta this evening. Our reporter Elizabeth Hunter has been there throughout the day. She says about 1 inch of powdery snow is on the ground now, with big fluffy flakes still coming down. People were seen out grabbing gas and snacks and even having a little bit of a snowball fight. There you go. It's kind of hard to get to stick. Police are patrolling now as roads are getting slippery with a light layer of snow and ice forming. Let's check in with 13 WMAZ anchor. You know him, you love him, Frank Malloy. He's in Macon right now, enjoying the snow on his day off.
All right, we've ventured outside on this very balmy January day, and snow flurries. Yes, you can see it kind of whipping around if you look. Yeah, Mr. Bulldog is having a few flakes fall on top of him, and it's much more impressive when the wind kicks around. Let me see if I can get a better look here. Maybe into the trees. I don't know, but you get the picture. Very cold, very windy, and flakes are falling here at around 4:30 or so in the afternoon. But it's a Saturday. Hopefully you don't have to be anywhere. Ben and the weather crew taking care of what's happening out there, along with all of our news reporters. And all you have to do, one job: stay inside and stay warm, everybody, and enjoy. This may be it for the year. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed indeed. Thank you so much, Frank.
What started as just a cold and windy morning here in Milledgeville turned into a snow flurry wonderland. We caught up with some people around town who were excited to see these flurries, and even some people who traveled from out of town.
And as we go to break, let's take a minute and look at some of the photos you've sent in, starting in Kite, Georgia. A viewer sent in photos from their yard, the snow taking over. That's kind of a pretty sight, though. Taking a look at some snow in downtown Macon. I was down there earlier. Flurries coming down right now, side of the Social Duck. And a look at the Wilkinson family in Sandersville. Oh, you guys had some fun today, all bundled up for the cold weather. welcome back. I know Central Georgia, we've been dealing with winter weather for 3 weekends in a row, and our team, we have been here nonstop to keep you informed. When snow made its way into Milledgeville, Naomi Washington was there to talk to people downtown.
We started out with just a cold and windy morning here in downtown Milledgeville, but starting at around 10 a.m., we started getting the flurries that you see around me right now. These flurries are light and fluffy when they land on like your jacket or your gloves, and they actually look like a perfect snowflake. Now, as far as downtown Milledgeville, people have still been walking around, going to get things to eat, parking their cars, driving around, just as they normally would. And we got to meet some people who were pretty excited about the snowfall. People, in fact, who came all the way from Florida to see what snow looked like for the first time.
I didn't really expect it to actually be like a snowflake, but like they actually do look like flakes.
Over at Blackbird Coffee, they still saw a steady flow of business, even though people knew snow was coming later in the day.
I think it's really awesome how the Milledgeville community always still comes out and supports businesses during even the weather. I think it's a really comforting place to come when it is cold, and so I think it makes it all the more special to warm up with some hot coffee.
While we were out here in downtown Milledgeville, we also saw people out here to salt the sidewalks, even though we started the morning with some salt on it so that people who are walking are safe.
Tell me, have you ever seen snow before, and what did you do when you saw it?
Do a snowball fight.
Now make sure you're wearing a coat or some layers if you go outside to observe these flurries, but something that officials told us was that they made sure to put brine, and that's that sand and gravel mixture, on both the county-owned roads and the state routes. I'm in Milledgeville. Naomi Washington, 13 WMAZ News.
And we still want to see your pictures of the snow. Send us your winter weather pics, as well as where you're located, to 478-752-1309. We're going to share them during our coverage tonight and tomorrow on 13 WMAZ.
Still snowing, at least a little bit in a few spots. If you're in our western half, it didn't quite shake out for you this time, other than a few flurries, but still coming down, rolling toward the south and east. When does this wrap up, and then how much colder is it going to get? Have you stepped outside? It's brutal out there.
Fancy seeing you here, Ben.
What are the odds?
I know.
Pretty good, apparently.
3 weekends in a row. That's pretty amazing for central Georgia. And I guess, you know, we're talking about snow, but really, and not everyone is seeing snow, really it's the wind and the cold temperatures that everyone's dealing with.
Yeah, everybody has that. You know, regardless of snow, no snow, the wind and I was just telling y'all, I walked outside a minute ago and I was like, I quickly turned around and went back in. It almost hurts to stand out there. Very cold and windy and snow in some spots. What you're looking at here, parking garage downtown Macon, the medical center, and that is snow on here. And this is about the farthest west it went. This was the extent. So the outside edge of this entire low that goes through the Carolinas out into the Atlantic Ocean, the edge of it stopped right here in downtown Macon, which is kind of wild. You go a little bit west, you had some flurries, but this is where the majority of stuff has been. The numbers are impressive. 25 that feels like 13. So not just snow here in this shot. Let's see, Sherrod, do we have it? We have our backyard garden camera. It was a quick shot. It was probably only like 15, 20 minutes of the steadier stuff out here at the station, but it did a number out there, and that's probably caked on there pretty good. So just to show you how cold it is, normally we see it get on there and then it kind of sags down the windshield. Nope, it's on there and it's not going anywhere. So back we go to a look at tonight. I'm going to say as low as 15 for tomorrow morning. Windy and cold, windy and cold. And sunshine comes out tomorrow. It's going to be about a 7-hour window from about noon to 7. Where we'll be above freezing. I mean, it'll be mid to upper 30s, but it'll be up there that we should, you know, handle some of the stuff getting it melted off if there isn't any problem areas out there. Shady, low spots, probably hang around, and it'll definitely refreeze again tomorrow night, whatever's still there. 20 in Athens, 22 Atlanta, 25 Macon. We have 22 to 27 in our area from the lowest to the highest, and the wind speed still there. Now, we're not seeing 35 to 40 everywhere. We're seeing 25, 30, 31 on the wind gust, but this is what's causing another part of the problem here is it's already so cold. You factor that wind in. Monticello feels like 6. It feels like 8 in Gordon, 9 in Dublin, and everybody going down pretty much to single digits as we go through the overnight. So it's only getting colder as we go through tonight. There's a look at the radar. Now, a couple of shots of the radar. This one we've been showing throughout the day. Shows the blue shaded area or the more concentrated snow. It's not really taking into account all the little flurries. I'll show you that in a minute. But you can see where it has been heavier. And even earlier today, the second round actually came through Hancock and Washington County. That's that part that came down through eastern parts of Monroe, Bibb, Jones, Twiggs. And it was just like a cutoff right there. So if you're in West Macon, western parts of Monroe, you might have had a few flurries. But there was a cutoff at a certain point, and that was it. There's a look at the big picture. Anything in white is going to be snow steady. The grayer areas going to be more like flurries. Now, a lot of this has been landing on the road, and it's very cold on most surfaces, and it's a dry snow, no problem. But on the roadways where it's warmer with the actual heat of the earth there, it's been melting. And you're kind of glistening out there on some of the sky cams, Danny. I mean, that could be a problem tonight, and it's cold, freezing.
It definitely becomes a problem, especially when it comes to some black ice. So black ice, as most of you know, is that thin layer of ice that forms on concrete. It's really thin and hard to spot as you're driving. So as it's hitting the surface, it is melting and it's becoming very slick, and it even becomes even slicker as you go across any bridges and overpasses, because most of this heat is not contained within it. With all of the cold air around it, especially with that wind gust out there, it's causing these bridges to become very slick. So as you're heading out on the roads for the rest of today into the morning, I would just take a lot of caution, keep extra space between you and the vehicle in front of you, and if you do begin to skid, don't slam on your brakes, because that could cause some potential accidents.
Very good advice right there. And of course, the bigger thing, if you don't have to be out, don't be out also. But if you have to be out, and a lot of people still have to go somewhere, take that into consideration. Hopefully we won't have a problem with that, but I do know that some of this snow has melted on roadways. And then obviously the numbers are crazy already low. So freezing will definitely happen, I think, in some spots. All right, as we go through tonight, we're going to continue with the snow leaving toward the east. I can show you here on the high-res model. It kind of just starts pulling things on across as we go 7, 8 o'clock, and that should be it. The graph model pretty much kind of agreeing with that same scenario of everything eventually fading toward the south and east and toward the east. And Sherrod, I'm going to pop up the 7-day, and we can take it full so I'm not standing in front of it. Just make me disappear maybe. We're looking at a weather impact alert that'll be ending, there we go, tomorrow morning. We're in the middle of that big red box that was on there for Saturday. Tomorrow morning, because we're going to be around 15 with a wind chill of maybe 3 degrees in some spots, that'll end as we go through the day, and we'll try to melt some stuff off. Groundhog, I don't even know if he wants to show up at this point, but I hope he can offer something that says an early spring. I think a lot of folks would appreciate that. Average high this time of year is 60, and we look to try to hit that as we get on into Tuesday. So a few flurries still left out there in our eastern half. After that, it's just all cold and windy as we go on through tonight. Lori.
Thank you, Ben. I think we do deserve an early spring.
Yes.
Okay, let's take a look at some of the photos you've been sending in on this snowy day. This is Hazel. Hey, Hazel from Gray, having a great time playing in the snow. Sarah Drawhorn out with her gear, making donuts in the yard. That looks like fun. And finally, we can see just how much snow is coming down in Hancock County. Some of the snow piling up on cars and trucks. Hey, thanks so much to everyone for sending those pics in. And as the snow keeps falling down, or even if it stops, we'd love to see those photos. Send your winter weather pics to 478-752-1309. We're going to share them during our coverage.
It is cold and snowing here in Washington County. How some road crews and people we talk to around town is preparing for the snow.
We saw snow in different central Georgia counties today. Ellie Milliken and Madison Briggs were in Sandersville most of the morning and into the afternoon. Madison breaks down what their snow was like today.
I'm here in Sandersville right now, and as you can see, it is snowing. I am covered head to toe in snow, and it's pretty cold. But now earlier this morning, we talked to some county workers and some people around town to see how they are preparing for the snow.
You know, we had to dump on bridges, spread little rocks. You know, we made some fun. Me and the guys made a little fun out of it, you know. We'll do snowball fights and stuff after we get done with all our work, but, you know. Yeah, I love it, though. I really do love it over here.
Road crews were out early this morning. They were at the hospital preparing the area for emergency services. They used rakes, backhoes, and other supplies to make sure the roads were safe. Jamari Gills has worked for the department for around 6 months, and it's his first snowstorm to work, and he says he just wants to help people stay safe. But he's not the only one out in the snow. We also went downtown where we met Gabby McDaniels at Lisa Bills, who says they they're open and ready for shoppers even in the snow. The shop just opened around 4 months ago, and she loves working there.
It's been totally different. Like, we never have snow, like, ever, so it's been really fun. We just came in and just wanted to monitor the weather and see what happens. We ran to the grocery store and just trying to stay warm at home.
Now, if you are outside and you are cold like me because of the snow, the Chamber of Commerce has some items you can pick up so you can stay warm. You can get hats, you can get gloves, you can get coats, and you can get it for free. But I'm reporting in Sandersville, Madison Ricks, 13 WMAZ News.
And right now, because of the snow and ice in Washington County, local officials asking everyone to stay off the roads if they can. But if you do have to travel, they ask that you be safe and vigilant on the roads. Ben, I think that's good advice for really anyone in Central Georgia.
Yeah, especially, where the snow has been and landing on the roads and then, melting and then refreezing and all that. So better if you don't have to be out. Just to show you, though, once again, on top of the parking garages downtown, we've had some accumulation and over here where we are in East Macon and in some of the yards out there and everything. But I want to show you, we've been talking about Washington County. That's just one spot, but surrounding areas could see this same thing. This was in the weather chat room just a little bit ago. That's some of the road problems they're having over there. Now, I didn't see that downtown in Macon, but they've had more snow here. And at some point, the road temperature does settle down to where it's like, okay, I'm not going to melt this anymore. And it's just holding there. That's a problem in some of our northeastern counties especially, or anywhere, like again in Macon, just in parts of East Macon and Twiggs, Jones County, places like that, where it melted a little bit. It's in the low to mid-20s right now, heading toward the mid-teens tonight. So it may not look like this. This would get your attention and you'd say, I'm not driving on that. But in other spots, like where it just had a little snow, it melted and then refreezes. That's what Danny was talking about, the black ice out there. There's just that thin layer and you don't even know it's there. So really careful tonight, guys. I know you hear us say these things, but it is a possible thing as we go on through tonight. Coming up in a little bit on 13 WMAZ Plus, where we have been with you now for a few weeks. Going through these things. We continue. We have our live radar, which goes 24/7. We have coverage there. I'm going to be jumping back on at 7 for an extended forecast again coming up in just a little bit. And of course, if you don't have the 13 WMAZ Plus, you can scan that QR code on your screen and you can download it on your TV. And I know that it's come in very handy here recently. This whole technology came around at a very good time. So we'll let you know go for now, but I'll see you over on the Plus channel and we'll continue covering this third weekend of winter weather in Central Georgia.